Hi, it's Leslie Meredith with Breakbulk Events and Media. I'm here with Athol Emerton, who just completed a panel on Africa, our regional spotlight. So welcome.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here. Tell us a little bit about your company first.
Okay, we're part of the LBH group, and we have country offices in Mozambique and South Africa. It's a global ships agency organization. We have over 80 offices around the world and in more than 20 countries. And in South Africa and Mozambique, we have become not only a ships agency, but we do the kind of holistic logistics issues, and particularly in Mozambique, where this huge project is now taking place.
Absolutely. So I know that all of you on the panel talked about Mozambique and the two big projects there. Can you give us an idea of how these will develop over time and how it will change really the Mozambique that we know today?
Well, it's such a huge opportunity for Mozambique. Mozambique was one of the poorest countries in the world up until the last decade or so. And the Mozambique government has really embraced these projects, and some of the big international investors have as well. So there's a huge amount of money being invested into Mozambique, and with that comes things like education and health. And most important, I think, is finally a sense of security of income for the whole of Mozambique. So it's a really big step for Mozambique, and yeah, we're very proud to play a role in it.
Absolutely. So tell me about your company's role in these projects.
So we're in ships agency and logistics. We provide clearing and forwarding services. We are able to operate in very remote areas. We have a fantastic team of guys that can operate remotely. We have over 100 staff with our average age of service is over 14 years. So we have staff that have been with us for 20 years, 25 years, some of them. And these guys are able to act remotely and operate remotely. And we do ships agency, we handle cargoes, we do stevedoring, we have our own equipment. We have recently acquired 2 large jack-up barges, which you call the Popup Ports.
What does that mean? Now, that was something very intriguing. I noticed when you were doing your presentation. What is a Popup Port?
Okay, well, a Popup Port is a little coin that we phrased. We acquired these 2 large jack-up barges. Each one is able to jack itself into position. Each one is more than 50 meters long. And if we combine the 2, we can create an instant quayside within a week or 2 of more than 100 meters of quay. Each barge has a crane on it. One has a 600-ton crane and one has a 250-ton crane. So we can put them into position, jack them up, and start handling cargo within a week or 2.
That's amazing. I mean, especially in a remote location like that, where it would take quite some time and resources to build a facility, right?
Well, it's also, they're completely self-sustaining, so they generate their own power, they have their own diesel and water resources. So we can keep everybody on board, and we can just be fully functional very rapidly. But we don't see them as such a critical part to the project as such, but more in a support role for all of the other activities that will happen around the actual project construction. So not only is there the project construction, but there's everything in the region that has to be developed. Hospitals, clinics, schools, all of those cargoes need to get in for that development as well. And that's probably where we see an important role for those pop-up ports.
Absolutely. Can you give us an idea of, over the next few years, 4 or 5, perhaps longer, 6, how much cargo, what's the volume of cargo that's going to come in?
Wow, it's enormous. So each of the current 2 projects which are being considered probably have well over 1 million freight tons of cargo each. Then there's the camp resupply, so there's going to be probably up to an excess of 30,000 people working on on site when it's at its peak. So they need resupply. Plus, the really important thing is that the whole region is developing commercially. So there's a whole socio-economic development, and that itself will just start generating cargo on its own. So, as I said, schools, hospitals, clinics, all of that has to be developed. They require fuel, they require stores, they require supplies. So it's not only the millions and millions of freight tons which are moving into the actual construction project, it's the whole regional massive development that's going to happen. So we're really talking about, I think, a kind of earth-shattering change for people in northern Mozambique, and that all requires cargo.
Absolutely. Well, we will be watching that project as it develops, and I want to thank you so much for sharing your perspective with us.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.